Okay, so I've wanted to show these cards off for a very long time. Years ago at a yard sale, I bought a box of cards for like 10 bucks, nothing too great in it, but then I started noticing there were some really old cards inside. So I decided to, take a look at them. I noticed they were incredibly funny worded. And let's take a look at some of these cards and see like what they're talking about, see how the writing in cards have changed, and it's also a good idea to see what beta cards look like. So, all of these cards are from beta. It was the second set of Magic cards technically to come out. And, yeah, the only way to tell the difference between beta and alpha cards was the beta cards have more of the rigid corner. The alpha cards had more of like a curved edge that went all the way around the corner. It's very noticeable when you have them side by side, but I don't have any alpha cards to take a look at from there. But anyway, let's look through some of these cards, see what they're talking about, see what they, see what they say, and we'll see how they look so much different than today's cards. Alright, so let's start with red. Why not? Alright, one of the most iconic red cards, Stone Rain, 2 in red, destroys any one land. It's interesting because it doesn't use the word target, and yeah, it's very interestingly worded. You can also see how the art is a little bit different. The words on the name of the cards are written in like a dark gray. The 2 colorless is a really weird looking darkness as well. All right. Some other cards. Earthbind, red, it's enchant flying creature. Earthbind does 2 damage to target flying creature, which also loses flying ability. So it's just an interesting way that this was all worded. All right. Red Elemental Blast counters a blue spell being cast or destroys a blue card in play. Right. Fire Breathing, just red for the enchant creature. You pay red +1/+0. No indication of until end of turn or any sort of indication that makes it, indicating that's like a end of turn ability or a temporary way to boost up the creature's power. Somebody might interpret this as, oh wait, I can keep making my creature more and more strong? I'll just keep firing red mana into it and I'll just build up a very powerful creature throughout the game. Alright, some other iconic card, Monza's Goblin Raiders, just a 1/1. One thing that's cool about these is it says summon goblins, not creature, but summon. That was what they called the cards originally. And these are 2 other cards, Hurloon Minotaur and Grey Ogre. Just the art looks really weird on them. Yeah, these cards are also heavily played. Also, looking at the back of the cards, they have a little bit of an aged look to them. I don't know if it's because the ink is like changing color or that's how they actually printed them. But it's cool that the design has not changed since it first came out. Alright, next color we'll look at is black. I just have a couple cards. Alright, Pestilence. Just do 1 damage to each creature and to both players. No indication of multiplayer beyond 2. Pestilence must be discarded at end of any turn in which there are no creatures in play at end of turn. So once again, just an interesting way to word the card. And this card looks incredibly dark and disturbing, just to throw that out there. A Howl from Beyond, target creature gains +X+0 until end of turn. So yeah, it's just interesting how they're gaining these abilities, or they're losing flying abilities, or anything else like that. Alright, so let's look at the top cards and see what else we have to look at. Let's take a look at green. Alright, our first green card is just Regeneration. 1 in green, enchant creature. Target creature regenerates. I guess you could technically argue that you could choose other target creatures aside from the one that is enchanted with regeneration. But that's not the way that the official ruling on the card goes anymore. Alright, we have another iconic card, Fog. Creatures attack and block as normal, but none deal any damage. All attacking creatures are still tapped. Play any time before attack damage is dealt. So, that's kind of interesting as well. I guess you could argue that creatures don't deal damage even if they had, like, tap abilities. And then also, play any time before attack damage is dealt. Technically, under that ruling, you're not allowed to play this during your second main phase. Which is kind of interesting. If I'm trying to build up a storm count for a grape shot or something else to do damage to my opponent, technically under the wording on here, I can't play it. Alright, next card we have Scribe Sprites, or Scrib Sprites, however you want to pronounce it. Just 1/1 flying, summon fairies. Crawl Worm, it's pretty popular from the olden days. But the art looks kind of cool on it, and yeah, just the design is fascinating on these cards. Shannon Dryads, just green for a 1/1 Forest Walk. Got that summon thing, which I just keep noticing, and it keeps hitting me the wrong way. I don't know, it's kind of weird to see it as a summon. And then we also have Stream of Life. Target player gains X life. Alright, so that's it for the green. Moving on to white. Alright, Holy Strength. Just target creature gains +1/+2. A Healing Salve. Gain 3 life or prevent up to 3 damage from being dealt to a single target. We have some Circular Protections. Circular Protection green and red. Prevents all damage against you from one red or green source. If a source does damage to you more than once in a turn, you must pay 1 mana each time to prevent the damage. And we finally have Death Ward, just white for regenerates target creature. And finally we got a little bit of the blue. We have Creature Bond. If target creature is destroyed, Creature Bond does an amount of damage equal to creature's toughness to creature's controller. Alright. The word "that" would probably be a better placement in here. I'm not an English teacher, so I'm not 100% sure on the best way to communicate the message, but I think if this was printed on a modern card, it would say, if target creature if enchanted creature is destroyed, Creature Bond does an amount of damage equal to that creature's toughness to that creature's controller. But I'm no expert in it. And finally, we also have Flight. This is a very interestingly worded card. Target creature is now a flying creature. And that's it. That's all it's saying. So, enchanted creature has flying. But the idea is interesting of how they worded these cards. Alright, so that's some of the cards from my beta collection. Hope you enjoyed looking at them. Hopefully you got a couple nice laughs or giggles out of how weird and horribly written the words are on the cards. But yeah, if you have any questions, please post them in the comments. If you like these videos, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.